Ladies and gentlemen, they finally passed the deal, and this is the Wall Street Journal. Senate moves towards vote on stimulus package, legislation to provide direct payments to many Americans, expand unemployment insurance, offer healthcare providers additional resources. This is the Wall Street Journal. So it was actually held up this morning. So early in the morning, the market was like over 1,000 points. The market rebounded in 2 days, 33%. It would have been above 33% because today it closed at 500 points up, something like that. The Dow Jones in 2 days rebounded 33%. Okay, over 3,000 points after the 10,000 point drop in like 3 weeks. So things are going to rebound, but here then there was some issues. They still weren't negotiating, and there's like a 99.99% chance tonight it's finally done. So on the Democratic side, they were trying to include Green New Deal legislation, which they should pass in the House if they want this legislation. The Democrats control the House. They're full of, they're all talk, and what they do is they scream climate change at the top of their lungs, but they're too cowardly to actually pass climate change or Green New Deal legislation from the House. They only care about a resolution, which is a public relations stunt. So what they then do is they say, well, we can't pass this because we know that, we'll be on the hook for the economic impact. So we'll try to shove it within a stimulus package that has nothing to do with the Green New Deal. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So that was one issue. And then the other issue on the Republican side, and I disagree with this, you don't negotiate on unemployment insurance when you're the same Republicans, and these are establishment Republicans who say, it has to be a cap on the... These are the same people who will vote for military action, and I understand that rebuttal is or that argument is taken to the extreme, to an irrational extreme. Well, if we engage in military interventions, why not Medicare for all? I understand that argument doesn't make sense in all regarding all topics, but right now we are experiencing at this moment the choice between an economic recession that could lead to a depression, which it won't. We probably won't be in a recession because of this. President Trump is doing what he has to do. We had record low unemployment. We had record highs in the stock market. We had 6 million jobs created in 3 years compared to 8.9 million in 8 years. 6 million jobs created in 3 years. All the economic achievements of President Trump are listed below in the description. I haven't even had time to, revamp or revise the description page regarding the economic statistics because everything happened so quickly. But just as quickly as it happened in terms of the downturn, you're looking at a rebound economically. We had record highs, record lows in unemployment, record low in terms of Black and Latino unemployment. We had 6 million jobs created in 3 years. We had wages up. We had household median income up. And then all of this hit. Now imagine if it was just President Obama's economy, 1.6% GDP in 2016. It was an anemic economy. And they say, Trump inherited an economy. No, it was the slowest post-recession economy since World War II. No, since World War II. So the GDP in 2016 was 1.6%, below any of the numbers during President Trump's administration. So you can't. People say, "Well, he inherited a good economy. He inherited a functioning economy. Great. What do you want?" He inherited. So then what do you say with Bush? Do you say that President Obama inherited Bush's bailout? So really, it was Bush that got us out of the recession. No, they never say that, do they? Bush started the bailouts. He originally pumped money into the banks to save them. And then President Obama pumped more money. So do Democrats give credit to the worst president of all time, George W. Bush? And President Obama continued his policies, especially in terms of foreign policy. But anyway, They're finally struck with, they finally struck a deal. They finally struck a deal, and it's very, very good for the country. The way Democrats look at Trump is not the way they look at President Obama. President Obama gets all the credit for everything that happens in his administration, even though Bush started the bailouts. Could you imagine if President Trump drank Flint water to deceive people the way President Obama did when it was still poisonous? Could you imagine? Anyway, you have this stimulus package, GOP senators. So yeah, in terms of increase unemployment insurance benefits, do whatever you need to do. Spend as much money as possible at this moment right now. Why? Because you don't want this to tank the economy, and you don't want this to slow a recovery. When the recovery happens and you want to save money, you bring home Americans from never-ending counterinsurgency conflicts. The issue regarding Medicare for all, people say, well, we can afford endless military interventions. Well, wait a second. If you wanted Medicare for all, you're voting Democrat, correct? Yeah. Democrats, who's voting Democrat? Max Boot and Bill Kristol and other neocons who pushed for Bush's foreign policy, who served as the philosophical basis of Bush's foreign policy. The endless military conflict. You want to know who else is voting Democrat? So they're all voting for Clinton in 2020. Hillary Clinton's going to be nominee. You want to know who else is voting for Clinton? Bernie Sanders. If Bernie Sanders, well, that should tell you something about the left. If Bernie Sanders really cared and he wanted to, take it to the power structure, then he would vote Green Party. The Green Party, one would think, and you look at its platform, it's basically Bernie Sanders' platform. Or maybe a more left-leaning platform compared to Bernie. So why doesn't he join the Green Party if he really wants to force the Democratic Party to move to the left? They haven't moved to the left. They're just pretending right now just to get Bernie out of the way. They've cheated him, and his campaign has turned into a media creation where he can't even endorse the media pundits that have endorsed him. But that's a whole other story. You have Andrew Cuomo in New York, and you have Governor Newsom in California. Okay. You have Gavin Newsom and Andrew Cuomo. 60 million Americans, 40 million in California, 20 million in New York. That's 20% of the U.S. GDP right there. These states need money because they have tremendous problems, horrendous problems, including a homelessness issue that they have yet to tackle. And they've had years to address this, and they haven't addressed it. Now they're begging President Trump and the federal government for more money. This whole thing, we're saving lives. Great. You know how many people, go look it up. You know how many people lost their lives in 2017 to 2018 from the flu? 80,000 Americans. Look it up. 80,000. Okay. The deaths, the toll throughout the world is not 80,000. Okay, so 80, you can look. 2018. Over 80,000 Americans lost their lives because of the flu. New York Times, October 1st, 2018. Highest toll in years. 180 young people as well. 90% were over 65 years of age. Okay? 90% were over 65 years of age. And you have the same issue taking place right now with this tragedy. But you didn't tank the economy. Also, a couple years earlier, you had 50,000+ Americans under President Obama one year lose their lives because of this, a different strain of the same thing. So Did you tank the economy? You can justify anything. You can justify anything by saying, well, we're saving lives. Well, you know what? Why don't you ban alcohol? You want to know how many lives you'd save on the roads? We all know somebody who's been injured or lost their lives on the roads. Everyone watching knows somebody. And everyone watching understands the gravity and the seriousness of never drinking and driving, which also leads to countless deaths. So, ladies and gentlemen, you're looking at the country slowly rebounding. Senate moves towards vote on legislation to provide direct payments to Americans, expand unemployment insurance, offer health care providers additional resources. GOP senators strike a deal to allow stimulus to pass. This is a couple of minutes ago. March 25th, 2020. Lindsey Graham, Tim Scott, Rick Scott, Ben Sass have agreed to drop procedural objections and let the bill move on a fast track in exchange for a vote on an amendment to the package. Okay. So they had their economic considerations, some of which make sense, but the point is, it's going through. We're on our way back, ladies and gentlemen. The glee and the malice and the insidious nature of this media coverage, my God. They're loving this. Democrats, media, they've really built this like cocoon, this like bubble of that, like they truly believe that Trump is on the ropes. But they say that he was on the ropes with Trump, Russia. They made that up. He was on the ropes with the impeachment. They made that up. Yeah, you think Trump withheld military assistance? He would pay money to keep Joe Biden. Joe Biden, the other day, what did he say yesterday? He says, the cure, we have to fix the cure to help the cure a bigger mistake than ever. I mean, this was on The View. This is hilarious. We have to fix the cure to make the cure another mistake. Nobody knew what he was talking about. This, and by the way, that's just enough to defeat Bernie Sanders. It doesn't matter what Trump says. What Bernie says. You have people on Twitter, oh my God, you see what Biden said? Bernie's right there. It's like, they don't care. When are you going to... This is a respectful message to Bernie supporters. I was the biggest Bernie Sanders booster on the internet, according to the Huffington Post, and the unofficial scribe of Sanders' most hardcore voters, according to the Washington Post. The only knock on me from the left is, oh, you gave us false hope. You should have had that hope until July 5th, 2016. You imbeciles. Because you didn't fight back. That's why you get stomped and steamrolled and cheated and insulted and denigrated by the Democratic establishment all the time. And you think you're like the coolest, most hip people. It's like, no, they're utilizing you and using you and totally just cheating you all the time. You never fight back. You could have fought back by saying, hey, Clinton had servers with top secret intelligence. Fact. Go look at Politico. Go look at the Wall Street Journal. Go look at The Hill. I was a contributor to The Hill. Go look at it is a fact. Clinton had classified and top secret and special access program intelligence. That's even according to NBC News. And James Comey himself. Up until July 5th, Bernie was running against a person who should have been indicted. Anyone else would have been. So yeah, he was the front runner. Oh, I heard this one guy, a couple of people, he gave us false hope. Well, that's why you constantly get steamrolled and just bullied by the Democratic establishment. You have your little enclave, your little cyber reality, where you get retweeted a million times. But you never fight back because there's a limit to what you can say. I have enough of our emails. Oh, you don't want Medicare for all, Bernie? You really don't want to fight the 1%? Because if you don't talk about Clinton's email servers, then you're not really in it to win it, are you? Joe is a good guy. He's a great guy. He's a good guy. Yeah, no, Burisma, why? There's nothing a problem. Hunter, Gentleman's Club, who doesn't like him? Come on. No, Bernie, why don't you fight? Why don't you go after Democrats the way you went after Trump? Maybe they would actually take you seriously for once. Give me your thoughts below. The only knock on me on the left is like, oh, well, he said Bernie could still win. Yeah, Bernie could have still won up until July 5th, 2016. Comey, at that day, that was the press conference where Comey covered up Clinton's crimes. Strzok, McCabe, Clapper, Brennan. We have the text messages from the FBI officials. We already know that they covered up Clinton's crimes. Does that mean she won't run again? Of course she's running. It's a political machine. They're going to beg Hillary Clinton to run. I will have made the biggest political call of all time. Nobody has been saying this for 3 years. And it'll be 100% accurate, just like when NPR quoted me, and I said Clinton will lose swing states. They quoted me and Nate Silver in the same paragraph in the NPR article. That's below, in 2015, in the pinned comment and description. I was right then, I'll be right now. Ladies and gentlemen, this is turning out to be the biggest political call of all time. Hillary Clinton's going to be the nominee. She'll lose again to Trump. They don't care. Because Clinton is the only person who gives them a chance. Give me your thoughts below. Thank you so very, very much. Subscribe to H.A. Goodman's other channel right now. I will have a live stream later this evening, probably around 10:30 p.m. Pacific. Thank you.